Hello, everyone, and welcome to Parent University this evening. My name is Natalie Treckgold. I am from the DCPS Office of Family and Community Engagement, and we're super excited that you joined us this evening. So for our session today, we'll start, and I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Abby, who's going to introduce herself and share a little bit about what she does, and then share the content with you all. And then, oops, I forgot to do the poll, so we're going to do that right now as well, which is just collecting a little bit of information about who you are and what ward you live in. So Abby's going to introduce herself. She's going to review what non-DCPS summer programs are available in the community, or at least a few that we've identified. And then she's going to share a couple of other resources. And like I said, we'll have a little Q&A. And then we'll share some kind of next steps in closing out and get you all on your way. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Abby to introduce herself and take it from here.
Thanks so much, Natalie. Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to join you all today. My name is Abby Cohen. I'm the manager of partner engagement here at DCPS. So I work with a number of our partners that are in our schools every day supporting our students. And so we reach out to them to ask, what they had going on this summer. We wanted to make sure we were helping to spread the word about the great programming that's available. And so I'm excited to share a little bit about that with you all today. So before we dive into those details, we just wanted to sort of ground all of us in thinking about why summer activities are important. Summer's a great time for students to explore new interests, to try different activities, and build skills that will help them be successful in the new school year. There are a lot of different ways that students can continue to build on their school year success, and a lot of opportunities this summer for you to support your students in those activities. Also, having your student in a structured summer program can give you some peace of mind that your student is safe and engaged while you are working or taking care of other responsibilities. So tonight, as I said, I will highlight a range of summer programming options from across the Washington, D.C. area. And we've also put together a resource that has a lot of additional resources and programs for you to consider. I also want to flag that these programs were shared with us by our partners, but we have not personally vetted nor are we endorsing these programs. So would encourage any families who are interested in something we talk about tonight or share through our resources to make sure the program fits their needs before they enroll their student. So on the next slide, you'll see a couple things that you want to keep in mind for today's conversation and just in general as you think about programming for your student. On each of the slides where we are sharing our partner programming, you'll see these icons that help identify what student, grade, or age the program targets, whether there's program cost or financial aid associated with the program, and then of course any other key information. I'd also, encourage you to think about, when you're looking at programs and maybe having conversations with program staff to ask questions like, what kind of training does your staff go through? What kind of certifications do they have for working with my student? What is the student to staff ratio? What kind of personalized attention or instruction is my student going to be able to have this summer? And then questions about, are there field trips? Will my student be leaving the location? Just some more logistical questions to make sure you're really clear on sort of what's going on during the day with your student. So with that, let's dive in. The first program I want to highlight is called the DC Summer Conservation Crew Program. This is a paid opportunity for high school students who are interested in environmental science or conservation. And on the next slide, you'll see some more details about the opportunity, including service dates and the work schedule. The way that this program operates is that they will have teams of high school students working in parks throughout the DC metro area. Members of the program will be assigned to a designated park where they'll complete hands-on conservation projects such as invasive species removal, habitat restoration, trail maintenance, and trail construction. Members of the program will gain valuable job skills training, participate in environmental education activities, and receive an SCA uniform. There's no prior outdoor experience needed. You just need a willingness and interest to work outside. And so this is a really great opportunity for our older students, and especially great because it is paid. The Boys and Girls Club of Washington, D.C. has multiple locations around the city that provide no-cost in-person and virtual summer opportunities. For example, you can see here on the next slide a flyer for their summer camp, which includes science activities, arts, sports, and more. They really do a range of activities with students, and they begin at the end of June and run through about mid-August. The Boys and Girls Club also offers a large variety of virtual activities that students can do remotely. So they have a library of videos and activities where you can search by topic, and you can explore different activities together at your own pace, which is a great option if your student will be at home or with a family member this summer, but is looking for something to do to help fill their days. The YMCA also offers a variety of day camps across its Washington, D.C. location. There are some fees associated with the programming, but the YMCA seeks to make its services available to all persons regardless of their ability to pay. So we do encourage you to reach out to your local Y for details regarding the financial assistance possibilities as well as scholarship application procedures. And on the next slide, you'll see a breakdown of some of the locations. On the left side, you'll see locations of local YMCAs. And on the right side, you'll see some examples of the different types of day camps that are offered at those locations. And again, we really recommend reaching out to the sites directly for more information, both about the programming that's being offered, as well as the costs and any financial aid options that are available. DC's Department of Parks and Recreation offers a variety of summer camps, and our understanding is that the programming has filled up pretty quickly, but we do encourage you to reach out and look into whether there are any wait lists available, as we know that enrollment can fluctuate, and there are some great options there in terms of summer programming. You might also think about looking at neighboring Prince George's County. Their Department of Parks and Recreation still has availability for its summer camp offerings, and it is open to non-Prince George's County residents for a fee. And they also have in-person as well as virtual opportunities available this summer. And then once again, this summer, DC Public Libraries will offer a number of free reading activities and challenges for students to complete on their own. There are prizes available for students who complete these challenges, and these are, again, sort of self-led, done in your own time, so not necessarily a structured activity where you're dropping your student off at the library. And on the next slide, you'll see some more details about their reading challenge, as well as some options for online literacy supports for your students. So now we're going to share just a couple of other places if you're looking for more options or didn't see something that was sort of piqued your interest. So I want to share a couple of additional resources that we have for you. So the first is a resource that we put together ourselves. It's called the Summer 22 Camps and Activities Menu. It's available on the DCPS website. And again, this is really just a library of summer programming that was shared with us by our partners. And in it, I think it's probably a little hard to read on the screen here, but you'll find a program description, contact information, location of the programming, and then key information like what grades is served through the program, if there's any fees associated and whether there are financial aid options, days of the week and hours of the programming, as well as if any after or before care is offered. The next resource I wanted to highlight is this great website called dcsummercamps.org, which compiles summer camps offered across the Washington, D.C. area that and you can go to this website and you can search by specific types of programming. So you can search by kind of content area, and then it will show you all the programs that are available in the area that are focused on that particular area. So if you have a student who loves the arts, you can look specifically for arts camps. If you're looking for something more academically focused, you can search by academic camps. So again, another really helpful resource and sort of bird's eye view of what's available in and around the city. And then last but definitely not least, for our families with younger children, DC Child Care Connections is a great year-round resource that can help you connect with quality childcare options in the city. There are also staff members available who will help families identify financial aid options, so really helping to make sure affordable, high-quality childcare is accessible to all our families here in the district. So really encourage you to check that out. And this is, again, a resource that's not just focused on summer, but childcare more holistically throughout the year. And with that, I think we're going to move to some questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abby. I know that was a lot of information, and I just kind of like blew up the chat with a bunch of links to find more information. So if you all want to scroll back through, if there was anything that Abby talked about that really piqued your interest, there should be a link that corresponds with each of the opportunities that she shared. And so feel free at this time to drop any questions that you have in the chat, and we can speak to those. And in the meantime, I'm going to pull up some of the questions that came up in the registration. So Abby, I know you're a parent as well, and when you put on that hat, and also as you're in your role as, and helping to manage partners at DCPS, what are some of the questions that you think families should ask and be thinking about when they're looking at summer programs for their child?
Sure. I think in the summer, it's a really great opportunity to help students explore topics that they're really interested in, maybe things that they're not able to really dig into during the school year. So the first thing I would recommend is having that conversation with your student and asking them, what are you interested in? What do you want to be doing this summer? Are they really excited about sports and they just want to be running around all day? Are they really interested in arts and want to be getting their hands dirty, right? So I think the quality of the experience that our students have depends a lot on how engaged they are, which of course is related to whether or not they're interested. So would really encourage you to have that conversation as a starting off point. And then I think there are just some logistical questions that are worth having conversations about. I think schedule is a huge piece of that. Does a program hours align with your family's needs? Do they offer before and after care? I mentioned this a little bit before, but really digging into the staff training and qualifications, not that they all need formal training, but that are they sort of qualified to work with your students? Are they CPR certified, right? Like, do you feel confident in what they're providing your students? And then asking questions about the structure of the day, making sure that students are really engaged in meaningful activities for the duration of their time in the program, and having a good understanding of what that looks like to make sure that it meets your expectations and feels like a good fit for your student.
Right. Those are really helpful tips. Thank you, Abby. We got one question that was specific to what's available to 10th graders. And it looks like we have some resources to share, which I can add in the chat that will give some information for families about tracking their 10th graders' specific needs or interests. And then we got a question where can parents access student learning outcomes and rubrics by grade? How can parents verify at home if a student is progressing? So this one is a little bit off the summer learning topic, but I'm going to go ahead and just share a couple of things. So one is that DCPS has some really great family curriculum guides, which are K through 8 resources that share really simple bite-sized information with families about what students are learning in various subjects during different points in the year. And along with those topics, there are activities that line up that can help support that learning at home. And those activities are things that are really simple, low or no cost, easy to do at home or in the city. And so that might be a great thing to check out if you want to kind of go back and review some of the things that your child might have learned this school year and do some of those activities this summer. The other thing I'll share about kind of staying on track is that, or knowing if your child's on track, is that next week, our Parent University topic is on assessments. So we'll be talking about what assessments, aside from the PARCC, which is the big one that students take, and what families can glean, what information they can get from those assessments, why we take them, and how those can be used as a tool. Okay, we have another question here. What can parents do to help their children not fall behind during the summer? How much time should be spent on schoolwork or studying? And how can we make assignments more appealing to students?
That is a great question. So a couple things I want to touch on. So learning obviously happens in many different ways. And I think summer is a great opportunity for experiential learning and allowing students to sort of explore what they're interested in. Students do have access to Canva to use the platforms that are available to them during the school year. And then, as I highlighted, DC Public Library has a lot of sort of self-led reading challenges and programs, so that, and sort of like tutoring supports if you want to work on your students reading over the summer. But I think a lot of the programs that I highlighted today and are in the resources that we shared also bake a lot of that into the programs that they offer. So back to that original question about what are sort of the questions we could ask the programs that we're looking into, I think that's a great question to ask, is how are those academic or social emotional skills woven into the programming that the partner is providing? Because I think, again, summer is a great opportunity to sort of like, it's like when you hide the vegetables in the chicken nugget, right? Get some of those academic skills in through programming that's really hands-on and engaging. And so I think, there are ways to be supporting that piece of a student's development through some of the programming that we highlighted today. So I don't think it has to be one or the other of either like really intensive academics or what we call sort of like fun programming. Like I think you can do both at the same time. And so would encourage you to also just talk about that with the partners that you're investigating for your summer programming.
There we go. Thanks, Abby. I also had someone share in the chat, I think this might be one of our partners actually, that the YMCA also offers what's called the Thingamajig Invention Convention for kids who are 5 to 14 who want to create, explore, and enjoy invention and STEM. So if there's a link, Ms. Williams, you can share that and I will put it back out to the group, but that sounds like a fun way for kids to be kind of hitting that balance between learning and fun and seeing that those things are really, there's a lot of overlap and they don't have to be separate. Those are all the questions that have come through so far. If anyone else has other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And otherwise, there we go. We got a link here. We will keep moving. So I'm going to share the link for more information about the YMCA Thingamajig Invention Convention. And then we are going to go ahead and keep moving. So this session, along with all of our Parent University sessions, can be found on our YouTube page, and I will drop those links in the chat now. Before we move all the way through, I want to go ahead and thank Abby for joining us and for sharing all that really helpful information. Like I said, that was a lot, and we hope that you take some time to dig through the resources that were shared and all of the partner information to continue, the little bit that we shared with you this evening. So yes, please feel free to go back and watch this on YouTube or share the link with others who you think might be interested.